cumulative for loops. What if we want to do a task, and in that task we want to accumulate what we have? For example, if we want to sum up numbers from 1 to 100, how we can do that? Here we can design a new structure to do this cumulative. For example, now let's calculate the sum of squares from 1 to 10. Okay, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3 to 10. 10 numbers. You calculate the square of these 10 numbers and you add them up. If we want to write a loop structure, a for loop structure to complete this task, you need two components. First, you need to design a variable which is used to save the sum for these squares. Okay, so you need a variable which is used to save the sum of these squares. Here we call it sum. Okay, and next you need to put this sum in this loop. So this sum will be increased in each iteration. And how much it is increased in each iteration? We want to add up the squares from 1 to 10. So what we can do, we can add 1 square per time, right? We write a loop, and this command will be executed for 10 times. So we add up the numbers for 10 times. And here we are. We initialize a variable sum to be 0. Okay, we start from 0. And in each iteration, what we do, we add the square of a number. And this number changed from 1 to 10. It's a group of numbers, range 1, 11. You have 10 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, to 10. So for each I in this group, I will be changed from 1 to 10. And you add up the square of I to sum. At the end, when you finish this loop, you add up this number for 10 times. You get the final sum of 10 squares. And you print this message, sum of the first 10 squares, you get the result. See that if you want to accumulate what you have by using the loop, you need to initialize a storage variable for this accumulation. So important part is you need to know you put this variable outside the loop structure and use this variable in the loop. Okay, let's do a practice by yourself. Now please write a simple program that computes the factorial of an integer using the for loop structure. For example, if you get this number 5, you calculate the factorial of 5. That is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. If you get 10, you calculate the factorial of 10. That is 1 times 2 till you get times 10. Okay, please pause this video. When you finish, you continue. Great! I guess you get the answer for this simple program. You write the program with the for loop. And remember, if you want to use accumulate what you have in your loop, you need to define a variable outside this loop. Here we define a variable which is called factorial outside the loop. So what you have is a factorial variable to store the factorial value, and at the end you report that value in your message. And we use this variable in our loop, and now what you see, you get a number from the user, and you start from 1 to n plus 1. So you got a group of numbers from 1 to n. So that's how you get the list of numbers. And for each variable I in this group, I will be changed from 1 to n. And u times I to this factorial number. So at the end, what you have is the factorial number is the product from 1 to n. That's exactly the value of a factorial for that integer. Okay, I hope you understand how to do a cumulative for loop. And remember two things: you need to initialize a variable outside the for loop and use it in the loop.